Welcome to the Asylum. And now, your hosts, Rick Fleeger and Rick Briggs.
Ooh, the weekend is finally here. It is week 9. Welcome to the Asylum Fantasy Sports Show here on the Full-Time Fantasy Podcast Network. Check them out, fulltimefantasy.com, at Fulltime Fantasy. Follow your boys at Asylum Football on Twitter. If you want to get in that mailbag, asylumfootball@gmail.com. Season's almost over, Rick. We're 4 weeks away from the start of the fantasy
playoffs.
I'm
just glad the weekend's here, man. I tell you. You don't realize. I mean, if you worked as hard as I did during the week,
God
you wouldn't be looking forward to it. I mean, you would look forward to it like I do. I mean, it's just
it's a rough life as a
man. But thank God it's here. Here, what, week 9?
Yeah,
and that's
sucks.
ridiculous.
It sucks.
It is. It was talk. I was talking to one of our league mates from our League of Consequence yesterday. It was like it just seems like we drafted.
Yeah, well,
it really, yeah. But I tell you what, here
freaking November.
Yep, here's November 1st. Wow, that's amazing.
I don't like it.
Nothing we can do about it, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm depressed. Should we just shut it down here?
No, you're always depressed, so we might as well just keep it going.
Fair point. All right, let's get into it. We'll give you our starts and sits. Pick every game against the spread.
Ajayi.
What? I wish he'd come back. So
I don't know why somebody won't sign him because
really.
Ajayi.
I mean, we got a great button, man.
Best drop in the business right there, and could never get to use it. And, of course, we'll answer all your questions at Asylum Football, asylumfootball@gmail.com. Let's get into it, Rick. Go ahead and give all three. Who is Rick Briggs and his infinite wisdom starting this week?
Okay, and just for your information, I'm sure you know it because it affects your fantasy team. Atlanta, Cincinnati, the Rams, and New Orleans Saints all on a bye this week. A lot of fantasy implications, not so much on Cincinnati, but, I mean, Joe Mixon owners, that's about it.
Finally got
Tyler Boyd.
Finally got a little wake up out of Mixon last week.
Yeah, exactly. But, you're going to have some problems. And hey, say you happen to have an injured Matt Ryan or a Jared Goff on bye, something like that. Quarterback. Tell you what, Detroit is dead last against the pass. I'm going Derek Carr. 1 week and 1 week only, buddy.
I thought I was being cute, but I don't get a QB start because that was mine as well.
No.
I think but yeah, you're right. You can pass on those Detroit Lions. And I'll tell you what, the Raiders haven't been that bad. They've been a whole bunch of pretty good so far, and so I think they're going to be playing catch-up. I think Matt Stafford gets his as well. I think he was a little too obvious to make a start, but I'm with you. I like the other side and Derek Carr.
You're talking about playing catch-up. I'm not so sure it's going to be a runaway. I think it may be a shootout. It may be 10 points or something like that, and they get a touchdown, something of that nature. But, Oakland's been playing decent ball. Detroit, Matt Stafford is playing good, and you know what I think about Matt Stafford.
Yeah, it pains you to say it. I could see a grimace every time you have to give the poor man a little bit of credit.
Yeah, I know. But I tell you what, 3-4 Oakland, and what is Detroit? They're 3-1. They've given up about the same amount of points. I think Derek Carr is a good start. Okay, running back. Washington Redskins are terrible. I think Buffalo's starting to go with Singletary, so I got ahead of him to start.
I kicked him around. If they would give him the ball 12 times, he might have 315 yards and 7 touchdowns. For whatever reason, they refused to do it. I kicked that one. I like that. That's a bold play, Rick. I like that.
And, look, the New York Jets are a mess.
True.
They're 23rd against the pass. Fitzmagic loves nothing more than winging it around. I think Devontae Parker is going to be the recipient of a lot of his stuff. And I think if you have Julio Jones on a bye and some of these other guys, your Robert Woodses and so forth, Michael Thomas, obviously. I think Devontae Parker certainly you could do worse than throwing him in as a wide receiver 3 somewhere.
Yeah, there have been times, boy, it just kind of looked like he was going to get it rolling and then just disappears again. I don't know if it's his suckitude, if it's the Dolphins' suckitude. There's just a good bit of suckitude there to go around. But I like it. It's a bold play. You look at the Jets have all but given up. There's There's discord now from Jamal Adams, everything that went there. This thing could get out from underneath them here pretty quickly, I got to think. Although I do wonder, there's 7 targets for Preston Williams last week against the Steelers, especially early in the game as the Steelers' offense was a little slow to get going. 4 for 42 doesn't end up being an overly impressive number. Those 7 targets for Preston Williams stuck out at me for as little as Devontae got, and why isn't Devontae Parker getting the 7 targets?
Well, he had 8 targets.
Oh, did he end up with 8?
Against Pittsburgh.
That surprises me.
Yeah, 6 of 8 for 59 yards. He didn't score in that game, but he's had 3 he's had touchdown in the previous 3 games. I just think against the Jets,
it's a good spot.
It's a good start.
All right, so obviously we agreed on the quarterback. The running back position this week, I like Jordan Howard going up against the Bears. You can run on the Bears, and I think, you finally saw a little bit of the breakout with Miles Sanders, but I think we're kind of seeing it set up, right, where kind of I'm doing the air quote thing because it's not the right term, but I can't think of the right term for it. The every down kind of back is Jordan Howard. When they need yards, when they actually want to dedicate to running the ball, Jordan Howard's getting that. And Sanders, you can kind of see it in the passing game in doing different things. I think there's going to be enough work there. The Bears offense struggles enough that you're not going to send Carson Wentz out there to wing it all over the yard. They're going to try to grind this game out similar to what the Chargers did with the Bears last week. So I think Jordan Howard has a pretty nice game.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. I mean, and not to mention that Sanders did have that injury, that shoulder injury, but I think he's going to be okay. But you talk about, the game that Sanders had last week against Buffalo. He had just 74 yards and 44 yards receiving. Jordan Howard had 96 yards rushing and a touchdown.
Yeah, very quietly.
Right. But everybody, that's the hype train starting to chug. We told you, Miles Sanders.
No,
we told you,
everybody
Miles
did
Sanders.
their victory lap after Miles.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the Asylum was on the Jordan Howard bandwagon, and he's still the meat and potatoes guy.
Right.
He's not
that's
flashy.
That's a good term, meat and potatoes. I like
and,
it.
And I think that's a good start.
And at receiver, I'm going to dive deep for this, kind of the way you did. And I'm going to go back to that same game. If you got a Julio, if you got a Michael Thomas, if you've got a Robert Woods, you might really be scratching the waiver wire for wide receivers this week. As bad as Sam Darnold has been, I think this is a week. This is a week he can get healthy against that pathetic Dolphins team. And it's different kind of bad, but the point is taken. It seems if it's going good for him, if he's looking good, Jamison Crowder becomes this target monster. It hasn't been Robbie Anderson.
Right.
You can see Jamison Crowder getting double-digit targets, upwards of 12, 13, 14, which in a PPR format, if you're really scratching wide receiver 3, a second flex, I think Jamison Crowder could be a bit of a surprise this week based on the matchup. And Sam Darnold's got to get right now. You see him Ghost 2 weeks ago. He was bad last week. Here's where he gets healthy. I think he's that quarterback, right? He's really good against the bad teams, and he's really bad against the good teams. They're playing a bad team. So Crowder, I think, could be a sneaky little play for you this week in a PPR.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, who you sitting?
Okay, at the quarterback position, I am going to sit Ryan Tannehill. Look, he's had a nice little run. He's 2-0. But Carolina isn't Tampa Bay or the Chargers. I don't want people to get fooled by that Carolina mess up last week, getting 51 dumped on them. I think Ryan Tannehill could be in for a long game.
Yeah.
And I just think that there's probably better options out there, Andy Dalton not being one of them. Running back, any Detroit running back. I do not.
I had Ty Johnson, so.
Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't matter who it is because. And as we have said this year in and year out, and for some reason it doesn't matter who the coach is. Ever since Barry Sanders is like 50 guys that have to run the football.
Right.
And I don't get it. So, I mean, I'm not recommending any Detroit running back.
Does it make me a bad person that I took such glee in Ty Johnson getting 7 carries and something called, or Trey Carson getting 12 carries. Just again, the minute Kerryon Johnson went down, all the nerdnicks all over Twitter and everywhere else. Oh my God, Ty Johnson. He's going to make Barry Sanders look like a loser. He's the greatest person ever to touch a football. It's time. Spend all your free agent dollars on him, and he gets 7 carries.
I mentioned that last week on the show, that I came across that tweet where some guy put this picture on it. It says, if you're not spending your free agent dollars on Ty Johnson, this is your fantasy season. And there's a big picture of a grave and a tombstone and everything. And I'm sitting there thinking, you are such a klutz. Because if you're number one, if your fantasy season was hinged on Kerryon Johnson's numbers previously,
that's a good point.
What's this guy thinking? I mean, it's just stupid. Because Kerryon Johnson wasn't winning you a title.
No.
He wasn't even carrying your fantasy team to mediocrity. He was at best your running back 2.
Yeah, and he hasn't been very good at that.
And he hadn't been very good. You have an RB1, and you obviously have quality wide receivers, because if he is your running back 2, you picked him either too early, or you picked some wide receivers ahead of him.
Right.
So, go away. Just shut up with your graveyard. I mean, because that was just a stupid comment. The stupid tweet of the week. And wide receiver, Mike Williams, we touched on him earlier. He is a mess. I don't know what's going on. And until he proves his worth, by a game or two of actually being involved in this offense and doing something, he's just not worth a gamble. I mean, you can go out and you get a Devontae Parker for nothing. There's probably some other guys out there, nobody right off the top. Chris Conley for Jacksonville. Somebody like that over a Mike Williams, even though he's got the name and the offense. He's just not worth it. And his drops. And
that's the thing.
Yeah, he's on top of that. I mean, it should be an air show in San Diego, in Los Angeles.
Always going to be San Diego.
It's always San Diego. But his drops and his lack of production, not only are they a disappointment, I just think that his targets are going down, and he's going to have a big game before I'm throwing him in, period, ever.
Well, and the frustrating thing with him, he is so tempting. He is so hard to sit down. Number one, you think that should be a dynamic offense, and I can't get out of my head that they're not. But number two, the amount of targets he gets, he's so tempting. If you're out there, you're looking at your third wide receiver. This is the kind of guy you should target, except for he has shown zero ability to do anything.
I know.
With this target share, he might be the most frustrating player in the league.
And
right
you have
now
Keenan Allen on the other side drawing top coverage. You have Hunter Henry underneath. This guy should be feasting.
Oh, absolutely. And you look at last week with a Keenan Allen, who that hamstring was so bad. I don't know how much of that you watched, but every time he made a cut, he was falling over. That's how weak the leg was. And he outperformed Mike Williams. I mean, there's zero excuse for that.
I agree.
It's pathetic. All right. So, Rick, my quarterback sits. This is going to be hard to do in a week where Matt Ryan, where Jared Goff, where Drew Brees are on a bye. I'm not messing with Carson Wentz. As good as I think Jordan Howard's going to be, I think that Bears secondary, that Bears pass rush could be a big problem with Wentz. And I'm not convinced Wentz is back to the Carson Wentz we kind of expected him to be in his career. Might be a tough one to do. You mentioned the Detroit situation. I had Ty Johnson. And wide receiver Jarvis Landry this week against the Broncos. You talk about an implosion in Cleveland, right? Odell, I don't think he'll be very good, but he'll still get hit. That Broncos defense is for real. They look like the Broncos defense all of a sudden. I think Jarvis Landry's the one who pays the prices. They're trying to kill Baker Mayfield the entire game after yet another hissy fit this week.
That was kind of a fun hissy fit, wasn't it?
Well, I liked it. I always liked that stuff.
The thing is, you can actually run on Denver. I mean, they're 110 yards a game. They're 19th in the league. They're third against the pass. They're fourth overall defense in the league. I mean, they don't give up a ton of yards.
And they went 3 or 4 games without getting a sack, and now all of a sudden they're making up for it here real quick.
Yeah, Nick Chubb should have a good day, but I tell you what, I wouldn't be banking on Jarvis Landry or Odell Beckham.
Yeah, I don't want much of Beckham either. All right, Rick, let's get into it. We are going to start in jolly old England, your favorite place over in London, as the Texans lay 1.5 against the Jaguars in what's supposedly a home game for the Jaguars.
Everything. I really want to jump on Minshew mania. I really do.
I can't make myself do it. But
I'll tell you what, just when I give up on Houston, here they come again. But this is a division game.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so let's see. We can't have Houston get 2 games ahead of Jacksonville. But then again, we can't have Indianapolis run away with it, so everybody's got to start losing and so forth. Jacksonville going to win. I couldn't do it. I took Houston 30, Jacksonville 24.
Yeah, we're almost right in line. It's kind of the same thought process, right? Houston's a much better team. As cool as the whole Minshew mania thing is, Deshaun Watson is a much better quarterback than Gardner effing Minshew. Where you get nervous is, number one, it's in London. Jacksonville does this 8 times a year now, it feels like, where it's a big burden for somebody like Houston, and it's this division. I wouldn't be stunned if Jacksonville blew them out here somehow, but I'm not going to outthink myself. Houston is a much better football team, so I'm going to take the Houston to win and cover 33-26. But good luck with never bet the AFC South. Never.
No, and I'm not convinced they're a much better team, because that Jacksonville defense can stymie just about anybody on a given day. But, yeah.
Somehow they can give up 40 on any given day, too.
Exactly.
I'll never understand that defense.
Right.
All right, let's come home here, Rick. Is the Colts 1-point favorites in Heinz Field?
And I tell you what, this is one of these weeks that can make or break a season. And I wrestled with this game, and I'm going to Colts. I'm going to Colts 31, Pittsburgh 30 in Pittsburgh. So I'm going to have having them win, and they're getting the point so they cover.
Colts are laying the 1.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I thought
so you just predicted
getting
a push.
I can't do that.
You can't push. We don't push.
I
at the
can't
Asylum.
do that. So I'm going 31-29.
Yeah, 29. I love it. I love
going with the Colts.
2019, 30-29. That's more like it. Yeah, this should be obvious, right? No Ben Roethlisberger. James Conner's really iffy. The offense has struggled. 2 things I'm struck by with this. Jacoby Brissett's been really impressive, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder if I still undervalue him. I watched a good bit of him last Sunday, probably for the first time, where I really sat down. I'll tell you, he really puts me to mind of a Ben Roethlisberger. Just kind of thick, not fast, but elusive and strong, and can make the throws under distress. I was really impressed with him, so that has me leaning back to the Colts. I know there's no Ben. I know it's a different team, but sometimes these things just happen. In the recent history of the Steelers versus the Colts is the Steelers have just owned them. I'm going to trust that James Conner is going to be all right, and they're going to be able to run the football. And Adam Vinatieri's been all over the place. He's been the worst kicker in history for 2 weeks, and then the best for 2 weeks, and it's swinging back and forth. It's Heinz Field. It's going to be, the turf was coming up last week, and it hadn't rained in a month, and we just got 72 inches of rain in the last 14 minutes here in western Pennsylvania. Somehow, by hook or by crook, I just got a feeling the Steelers are going to win this thing. So I'm going to take the Steelers outright as my upset of the week, 20-17.
I tell you what, Rick, usually we go head-to-head, but I'm rooting for you in this game. I want to lose this game to you.
Yeah,
I really do.
Well, and you usually do. So.
Yeah, right.
All right, Rick, you're Washington Redskins. It's funny how I'm a Nationals fan and you're a Redskins fan. So we're both fans.
And our boy Dave Cherney's a Caps fan. We got everything covered.
That works out. So Dave and I are doing all right, but your Redskins are struggling a little bit. But they're getting 9.5 points going into Buffalo.
Yeah, and that's a lot of points.
That's a whole lot in the pro football.
And it's a lot of points, I think, for that Buffalo offense to cover. Yeah, I think Buffalo wins the game, but I'm going to take Washington to cover. I got Buffalo 27, Washington 21.
Ooh, okay, I like it. Yeah, I picked up, I think, the last 2 weeks they've covered, and I've picked up games on you using that model. So I'm going the other way this week. I don't know why. If this, it sounds stupid, it's a half a point. If this was 10, I might be persuaded to. 9.5 is still a lot of points. I don't know how, especially if Dwayne Haskins ends up starting this game. I don't know if that's going to be the case, how that's going to shake out, how they score 7 points, 10 points. I just don't know what it is. So I think Buffalo can put up 23, and I think if they do that, they end up winning. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Bills winning and covering 23-13. And if Dwayne Haskins starts, I don't know how the Skins get to 13. So
if he starts, number one, I have no idea why he would start.
Right.
Yeah, if he starts, I'd really have to change my pick, even though I really couldn't officially because I'm saying it here. The reason I'm taking Washington to cover, look, Buffalo's 8th in the league in rushing, and they're 22nd in the league in passing. They're not very dynamic passing. However, on the other side of the coin, they're 18th in the league against the run. Adrian Peterson is going to be able to run the ball a little bit against these guys. I just don't think it's just going to be a runaway. So who knows?
Yeah,
and who cares?
Who knows and who cares? Now, that is analysis. All right, Rick, this game would have been really, really exciting had Patrick Mahomes not been hurt. This had been the game of the week. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out that way. So as it is, on the road, the Vikings are 2.5-point favorites over the Chiefs.
And this game is going to be a barn burner, I think. It's going to be close. I've got, strictly because of defense, again, I'm going Minnesota. I'm going Minnesota 28, Kansas City 27. So I'm going to have Minnesota win, Kansas City cover.
Oh, all right. So, boy, we're going to get some distance between us this week because I don't think we've agreed on a game yet. Look, I think without Patrick Mahomes, the Vikings obviously win this game, right? So the question became, can they keep it? Can they keep it within 2.5? Can they beat the spread? I think Dalvin Cook might go for about 175 in this game. I think he runs wild. Kirk Cousins has been playing so well. And that defense is suspect, and as nice as Matt Moore played last week against a pretty good Packers defense, I think this Minnesota defense is another step up. I think it still is close, but that 2.5 is nice. I'm glad it wasn't 3. I'm going to take the Vikings by a field goal here, 30-27. All right, Rick, the New York Jets are a 3-point road favorite this week in Miami.
I really want to take Miami, but I just can't. I'm not even going to have them cover. I've got the Jets 24, Miami 20. I think they've got. I mean, look, it's Le'Veon Bell. You mentioned earlier, Darnold isn't that bad, right?
No. There's no ghosts in Miami. They left those in New England.
There's maybe some ghosts of Don Shula flip-flopping around. I don't know. I'm going New York. I think it's be a fairly close game. I'm going New York 24, Miami 20. And let's face it, I mean, you got to face facts. The Jets actually beat Dallas.
Right, yeah.
So they're a better team.
Yeah, look, the fact that the Jets are a road favorite really entices me to go the other way. You know what I mean? It just sounds so absurd. But I got to think, no matter what, just knowing nothing else, just waking up, being born today, and being given what little facts you need about Miami, if you just pick against Miami, if you pick them to lose and not cover every single week, you're at worst going to go, 15-1, 14-2 this year. So I'll take that as a gambler. So, yeah, to pick a score, I'll take the Jets 28-24, which will be a win and a cover.
All right.
All right, Rick, the Bears getting 4.5 going to Philadelphia. That's a weird line. That's an interesting one.
It is an interesting line. I tell you what, this was week 1 or 2, man, I'd be laughing to the bank. I tell you what, there is nothing save for some of the talent they have in offense, i.e. Allen Robinson, Montgomery. But I have no faith in their game plans. Mitch Trubisky looks terrible. None of the other wide receivers have really stepped up. There's basically an invisible position called a tight end. And I think Philadelphia is going to win. I don't think it's going to be all that close. I'm going Philadelphia 29, Chicago 19.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I struggled with this one as well. Everything you said is right, and for that reason...
You're taking Chicago.
I'm taking Chicago outright here because the Eagles and Carson Wentz specifically have just come up small. I just got a weird feeling, if you're looking for a start-sit or you're looking for a daily wing and a prayer, I got this weird feeling in Philadelphia where Darren Sproles used to do this, that this is the week we get Tariq Cohen, who we thought Tariq Cohen was, and I think that ends up being the difference. I think they're able to run the ball. I think Montgomery follows up his big performance from last week, and I think they get Cohen involved. I don't know why. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was drunk when I wrote this, but I got the Bears 23-20, and I'm going to stick with it.
All
right, Titans, Rick, getting 3.5 going into Carolina, reeling after that just pounding they got last week.
Yeah, they are, and I think, like I said earlier, I think it's going to be a long day for Ryan Tannehill, but I think it's going to be a very good game. They both play pretty good defense for the most part normally. Carolina didn't look at last week. Tennessee seems to be one of these teams that does enough just to win, just to get it done or hang around 500, a little bit above. I'm going Carolina win, but I'm going Tennessee to cover. I got 26-23.
Yeah, we agree. This is a field goal game when you look at this, right? That's so that extra half a point. Again, I certainly think Carolina wins this thing, but they don't win it by more than a field goal. So I'm right with you. I got the Panthers 30-27. I don't know why I have that score so high, but 30-27. So it is a Panthers win and a Titans cover. All right, the Lions, Rick, getting 2 in Oakland.
Wow, you got to be kidding me.
I would not do that, Rick.
Okay,
I'm not the kidding type.
No, you're not. So I got to change it here.
Oh, did you predict a 2-point?
Yes, I did. I've hit 3 exactly.
You are the push master.
Push
Master Briggs. That could be your rap name. Push Master Briggs.
Push Master Briggs. I like it. I tell you what, this is one of my upsets of the week, and I'm stunned because I really did not think Detroit would be getting points from Oakland. But I'm going to Oakland 30. I actually had it 31-29. I'm going to Oakland 31-28. They're getting what? 2, you said. Yeah. So I'm Oakland to win and cover. But I tell you what, I think Derek Carr's a good start. I think they got enough weapons to win. It wouldn't surprise me if Detroit won by 2 touchdowns either.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about it, Ray. And it might just be your hatred for Matt Stafford versus my love. Look, this is a tough game to pick because either one of these teams, you're never surprised if they put up 60 or if they just completely don't even show up. And so I'm going to err on the side of Matt Stafford in a Matt Stafford versus Derek Carr matchup. So I got the Lions here winning outright, which I guess is a mild upset being that they're getting 2 points. I'm going to take the Lions by 10 here, 31-21. All right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who can beat anybody and they can just give it away to anybody. They're getting 4.5 points heading out to Seattle.
And I think with that defense that they have, Russell Wilson's going to have fun. I think Tampa Bay can score on Seattle, but I think the Seattle offense, under Russell Wilson is a much more balanced and well-oiled machine compared to what Tampa Bay's thrown at them, and I don't like Tampa's defense. I'm going Seattle 37, Tampa 27, so I have Seattle winning and covering.
Yeah, I don't know how Jameis Winston can't be losing that team at this point. I got a weird feeling, again, based on nothing you saw. I believe Derrick Henry ended up with, 80 yards last week. I got a feeling Chris Carson's going to be the guy who finally can run the ball on Tampa a little bit. Russell Wilson doing what he does. They're at least a touchdown better. I'm going to have them even better than that. I got the Seahawks here 34-26, so they are winning and covering that number. The Browns, Rick, 4-point – weird. Browns 4-point road favorites in Denver.
Well, I have Cleveland. That was another upset of the week.
Pushmaster Briggs.
Not Pushmaster, but I have them winning by a field goal. I got Cleveland going to Denver and winning 25-22.
So you got the Browns winning and the Broncos covering. Then.
Yep.
Yeah, the Browns should win this game. They've got to win this game. As much of a train wreck as they've been and as fun as it's been to watch, I mean, this isn't a 4-12 team, Rick. You got to find wins somewhere. I think this will be one of them, and why not have them cover? So I'm going to take the Browns here 27-21. Look at Flacco. He finally pops off for the first time in his career and now has the mysterious injuries. So starting a new quarterback. It's just, I think it could be rough on offense for the Broncos here. So I'll take the Browns to win and cover. All right, Rick, the Packers 3.5-point road favorites in L.A. taking on the Chargers.
And I have no faith in the Chargers. No. We already talked about that. I'm going Green Bay. I'm going 34-30.
Yeah, there's
winning
not even
and covering.
Yeah, there's not even anything to talk about there. I got the Packers 29-23. Patriots 3.5-point road favorites at the Ravens.
Upset special, baby.
Oh, you're going to do
Anybody can stop Bill Belichick at least one game as John Harbaugh and the Ravens. I'm going Baltimore 27, New England 26.
I think you're right.
I think I'm wrong.
This is the one team that can beat them. Here's the problem. This is the one everybody's pointed to for about a month and a half now as a game where finally, you know, they're going to get their comeuppance. John Harbaugh is the one guy who doesn't seem to get intimidated by Belichick. I feel like he hangs right with him. It's just the aura of the Patriots and the fact that everybody thinks this is the game where they get tripped up. Look, the Patriots aren't going 16-0, but I think it's more likely the Jets beat them or the Bills beat them or something. I don't think Belichick loses this game. So then it becomes about the cover. You're always safe taking the Patriots and having them cover. So I'm going to take the coward's way out and have the Patriots here 24-20.
All right.
What do we got here? Monday Night Football, Rick. The Cowboys, 7.5-point road favorites in New York taking on the Giants.
I tell you what, the Giants are just not playing that good of football. Daniel Jones putting up some numbers. They can score some points. Dallas has to be careful, though.
Yeah, this one's scary.
The Jets beat them in that same stadium. And, this is the old NFC East. They don't like each other.
Right.
It's probably going to be a nasty game. But I'm still going Dallas 37, Giants 27. I'm going to have Dallas win and cover.
I tried every way I could, Rick, to make an argument that the Giants either won this game or at least covered. And it just I couldn't find it.
The only way they could is if they start off like they did against New England. Yeah. Defensive touchdown, something like that. Get 14 quick points on the board. Dallas isn't New England.
No.
And that's about the only way I could see it, but I just don't see it happening.
I couldn't find it. So I'm going to take the Cowboys by 10 here, 31-21.
All right.
It is time.
Oh, yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Just send a fax or send me a letter or give me a call. That would even be better.
You've got mail.
Of course we do. Ooh. Since I'm not allowed to have my power
That's
stick.
That's right. He has to go back
out
to the stick, to the satchel.
Hang on a minute. There's a lot in here.
The mail satchel.
All right. Here we go. Getting them out of here. All right. Steve writes.
Steve. Hello, Steve.
This is PPR.
All right.
I have CMC as my other running back. So who should I start? Montgomery or Singletary?
Ugh. That'd have been a harder question, I think, last week. I'm going to go with Montgomery here. I think he has a pretty decent. I just don't trust. Look, I get it. You can't see. I'm talking to Rick like you can see him.
Right,
He just made a face at me. I'm going to have to see Singletary get the work.
Yeah,
I know he's
Frank
your start.
Gore's still there.
Right.
You're right. I understand.
I know he's your start, and I love it. I think it's bold, and I think at some point they've got to realize every time he touches the ball, he pops for 20. I'm conservative that way. I'm going to have to see it once. Finally, Nagy isn't an idiot. He gave the ball to Montgomery more than 7 times. I think he takes a lesson from it. It's Montgomery. Maybe if you're behind, McCaffrey gives you the ability to roll the dice a little bit. Maybe if you got guys on bye and you're chasing the first-place team, if you're swinging for the fences, I got no problem with Singletary, but I'm going to go conservative and go Montgomery.
All right. I just, I'm going to have to go Singletary just because, look, Philadelphia is 8th against the league in the rush. And they only give up 90 yards a game. I think Gore and Singletary could probably have 90 apiece easy against this. So I got to go Singletary. He's my start of the week. So we disagree, Steve. You know, I'm the brightest guy.
Well, I gave you the caveat. What are you pointing at over there? No, you can't have that. I'm recording into it. Some idiot intern just walks into the studio and wants the computer we're recording into during the show.
That was Alejandro's cousin, wasn't it?
I don't know what it was. A weird looking whoever it was. Good Lord.
All right. Brian writes, pick 2.5-point PPR.
All right.
Ty Williams, Allen Robinson, Chark, Michael Gallup.
Boy, he's in a pretty good position.
He's in a real nice position. Of course, you can see by this, he probably got Gallup and Chark on the cheap, and they've turned into studs.
Drafted A-Rob, so Gallup's got a... All right.
I got to throw Robinson in there. He's one of the bright spots on Chicago.
And all Ty Williams does is score. Every time he plays. So I'm going to go with those two. I'm going to go A-Rob and Ty Williams.
God, do you want to bench Chark, too? I mean,
I love Gallup in that matchup.
Yeah, I love Gallup, against the Jets.
But Ty Williams is a guaranteed touchdown. I don't think I can leave that hanging out there. We think it's going to be a shootout, right? If it's a shootout, Ty Williams and Darren Waller have massive days.
Wow. Yeah.
If I wanted to get Chark in, Rick, it's actually for A-Rob and not for Ty Williams.
Yeah, I agree.
You could talk me into that. That one's 50-50 for me, but Ty's a guarantee.
I think Chark's got to start.
Okay, I'll agree with you. That's fine.
And I'll go Williams just because of the touchdowns. Yeah, I agree with you.
Let's go Williams and Chark then. That's fine. I can live with that. Because, who knows? Trubisky might have a real Trubisky day, and A-Rob just doesn't get the looks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you have to look at quarterbacks at this time, and even Derek Carr, I trust much better in that matchup than a Trubisky.
Right.
You're going to love this guy.
Oh, God. You pull these intentionally, don't you?
Well, some of them, yes. Because it's not a hard question, but I just really, really wanted to. Oh. Goff's on a bye.
All right.
So Sir Win-A-Lot.
Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it.
When are the two of you going to grow up? I mean, this...
I can't help
it. Boy, when are you going to get your act together?
What did this ass clown call himself? The master, what was it?
Sir Win-A-Lot.
Sir Win-A-Lot. Mr. Win-A-Lot, lose our email address. That is ridiculous.
Well, the question's pretty bad, too. Oh. I have to admit. And Sir Win-A-Lot, get a name. Just get a name, all right? Darnold or Rivers?
You suck, and so does fantasy football.
But this is the year he finally puts it together.
It isn't. He sucks.
Is the answer to this question, though, after all that shtick? And seriously, Sir wins a lot? Come on. Is the answer to this question Sam Darnold, Rick? I think it is. It's obvious he's got to have Breeze, Goff. Oh, he said Goff was on a bye.
Yeah, Goff was on a bye, right.
Yeah, so if this is a bye week replacement, I'm thinking the upside with Darnold, as stupid as that sounds. I'm thinking Darnold.
Boy, that is kind of... even... Let's think about this.
Green Bay has been playing a good brand of defense. That stadium, that stupid soccer stadium in L.A. is going to be 85% Packers fans. It's going to look like Lambeau South. I don't think this game's all that close. They just fired their offensive coordinator. Things are going to be in disarray. You think getting rid of Ken Wisenhunt makes your defense or your offense better? I'm sorry, it doesn't. This is Darnold for me. I'd start you going against the Dolphins at this point.
You know what? I'm not going to argue. I think you're going to be. I think you're right. Phillip Rivers. He's got 2,315 yards passing. He's got 12 touchdowns, 7 picks. He's 16th in fantasy scoring. Yeah, Darnold could light it up against the Dolphins.
I think he should.
And if you're, Sir Win-A-Lot, if you're so great, you shouldn't be asking this question. But if you're chasing points, I think Darnold's the one.
And never write in here again. Never.
At least have a name.
What a jackass.
Ralston writes.
Ralston?
PPR. Jalen Samuels or Miles Sanders? When I saw that shoulder injury, I was going to say, well, okay, this is a no-brainer, because Samuel's going to be the guy with Snell out, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I wish we knew 100% about Connor. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna take Samuels anyhow. I think this is the Jordan Howard show going up against that Chicago defense. Samuels is the only healthy running back in Pittsburgh anyhow. When Mason Rudolph's your quarterback, Mason Rhubarb's your quarterback. This is a terrible show. I don't know why anybody listens to this. When Mason Rhubarb...
When are you going to get your act together?
When Mason Rhubarb is your quarterback, whoever the healthy running back is going to get a lot of work and put up a lot of PPR points. So actually, this is Samuels. It's probably not even that close the more I talk about it. Mason Rhubarb.
Mason Rhubarb. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm with you, Samuels, man. Okay. You're going to love it another one.
Why are you doing this to me?
Okay, because actually, I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this to you, but I have a trade offer in PPR, so we better blow it up. And we're blowing it up for a coffin maker.
The coffin maker?
Don't get. Hey, maybe it's Halloween. I don't know.
Maybe he actually makes coffins.
Maybe,
and he's really proud of it. Like Hank Hill, assistant manager.
Aren't they supposed to be called caskets?
Well, that's true, too. Yeah, so he's just a douche, huh?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Coffin maker. How about Bill? Steve. Don't get cute. Don't write in here getting cute. Like, I need your kitschy little nickname.
Yeah.
You know this guy wears skinny jeans and has an ironic mustache. There's just no doubt in my mind. Wears derbies. Are those the stupid hats the hipsters wear?
Yeah.
Do we even have to answer his question?
I have a trade offer in PPR. I will get Russell Wilson and Allen Robinson for Kirk Cousins and T.Y. Hilton.
Yes. Done. Yes, take it, idiot.
So he's giving up Cousins and Hilton, and he's getting Wilson. Yeah, I mean,
Cousins going to throw up all over his shoes any week now. Maybe not this week, but it's coming.
You're going to get Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson's probably the best quarterback in the game right now.
Right.
A-Rob and Hilton are a push.
Right.
Easy.
Okay,
easy.
Pete writes.
Coffin maker, you jackass.
Okay. Yeah, here's Pete.
Pete, yeah, I like Pete.
Pete's written in before.
Good for Pete.
But he's lost Matt Ryan.
Yes, many of us have.
Yeah. Derek Carr or Mason Rudolph?
Derek Carr. Easy.
Carr.
He's my start this week, yeah.
Okay, I agree. Nelson writes, with Gurley on a bye and Kerryon Johnson gone,
he's in rough shape.
Pitt 2 running backs in PPR. Lindsey, Miles Sanders, Adrian Peterson.
I don't like Peterson going up against Buffalo, so I won't even. Lindsey and
Sanders. You can run on Buffalo though.
Lindsey and Sanders are limited a little in practice this week. I don't have any doubt they're going to play. PPR value much more there with those two, so it probably is closer than I made it out to be. But yeah, I take those two.
Yeah, I mean you can run on Buffalo. Peterson happens to get a touchdown, all of a sudden that makes up for some of that PPR stuff, but. Yeah, certainly Lindsey. I think he could be very valuable with a new quarterback in there. And Sanders, they're starting to use him, so they got a pretty good matchup. So, yeah, Lindsey and Sanders. All right. Rod writes, and we better blow it up for Rod here.
All right, Rod. That's a man's name, Rod.
Right. Rod Steiger, Rod Taylor.
What's Rod
Stewart?
Roderick?
Rodney.
Oh, Rodney.
Or Roderick, yeah.
Rodney sounds better.
Yeah, Rodney's more common.
I don't know why I couldn't noodle Rodney.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of Rodneys. I graduated with a guy named Rod. Rod, I'm not going to say his name, but, I mean, yeah, he was a Rodney, but that's Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
Not a ton of them, I guess.
Rodney Pete.
Rodney Pete. Like I said, Rod Steiger, who's an actor. Not a ton of them, I guess. Rod Stewart, singer.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of famous Rods. Okay. All right. Rod writes, in half-point PPR, I was offered Chris Godwin and Drew Brees
Okay.
For Christian McCaffrey and Derek Carr.
No.
My running backs are McCaffrey, Gurley, Aaron Jones, Jordan Howard, and Duke Johnson. My wide receivers are Hilton, Lockett, Conley, Gallup, and Taylor Gabriel.
There's no scenario unless the name Saquon Barkley's involved where I even entertain a Christian McCaffrey trade. It's not awful. Godwin's a nice addition, but if you're rolling out Hilton and Lockett might be the best wide receiver in fantasy right now. No, I'm not giving up Christian McCaffrey. I won't do it. I won't.
I wouldn't either. It's not bad because Breeze is going to certainly help you at quarterback. Godwin's going to bolster that wide receiving core, but then again, now you're benching a Michael Gallup.
Yeah.
Because you can't bench Godwin, Hilton, or Lockett, as you said. You keep McCaffrey at all costs. Counter with frickin', I don't know, Gurley, maybe Gurley and something for less than Godwin. I don't know if you want to do something, but
it's a pretty nice squad. Let it be.
Yeah, maybe just let it be. Yeah, and I could see if Carr is his guy, maybe I need an upgrade, but the offer was made to him, so somebody else is seeking McCaffrey. All right, Kate writes, pick 2 in PPR. Elshon Jeffrey.
Okay.
Ty Williams. Mike Williams. John Brown. Got to be Jeffrey and Ty, right? Mike Williams is automatically out.
Jeffrey makes me a little nervous this week. As much as you can run on the Bears, it's really tough to pass on the Bears.
Okay, let's say we got Ty Williams.
Yeah, he's a lockdown.
So it's Brown or Jeffrey? Because Mike Williams, I'm not touching.
Yeah, Mike Williams out. It's John Brown or Alshon.
Now, who's Brown playing?
Washington.
Yeah, Washington.
That's where...
might not be a bad...
I think I might gamble here and go Ty Williams and John Brown.
I
guarantee you John Brown has 7 catches this week. I can't guarantee you that Alshon. Now, Alshon could have 8 for $150 and 2 touchdowns, so it's a risk.
He's a risk-reward guy. Yeah. John Brown, I think, is going to be a little steadier.
So I'm going to go Ty Williams and John Brown.
I am, too. And finally, Sid writes in a half-point PPR.
We hear from Sid every week. Another good manly name, Sid.
Half-point PPR, James White, Jalen Samuels, or Mr. Singletary, who's been talked about a lot tonight.
Oh boy! Singletary threw the wrench in there. James White has been terribly underwhelming. Now, as soon as
terribly consistent.
As soon as I say that, he's going to catch 15 this week, right? To go up against Baltimore, that'll be the game plan. Samuels, if I knew for sure James Conner was out or very limited, I think the answer would be Samuel. You know what? For me, I think we're going to end up disagree on this. For me, in a half-point PPR, if Samuels is the primary back, he might have 10 catches. You know what I mean? So I'm going to take Samuels. If you wake up Sunday morning and James Conner's good to go and he's not limited, then it's Singletary. I think that's where I'm living right now.
I'm with you 100%.
So you're going to have to monitor that.
If Conner's not playing, I think Samuel's the play.
Mm-hmm.
If Conner is playing, it's Singletary. White is just not... Look, he's going to give you probably 11 to 15 points.
Right, yeah.
But he's not going to give you that splash of 25 with a couple of touchdowns.
James Conner's out, Samuels is going to score in the 20s, right? Almost guaranteed.
Right, so monitor that, Sid. If Conner's playing, play Singletary.
I like it. Is that it?
That's it, baby.
All right, thank God. Let's get going with the weekend. Thanks for joining us here on the Asylum Fantasy Sports Show. Rick will be monitoring that mailbag right up till kickoff. Don't forget, 9:30 a.m. this week, there's a game in London at Asylum Football, asylumfootball@gmail.com, and, of course, fulltimefantasy.com and at Fulltime Fantasy. Good luck this weekend. We'll be back Thursday. Till then, we'll see you.
Take care.